Hello and welcome everybody to the Colvin Centre's latest hot topic on the no viral, no justice hashtag in Indonesia. We're going to be looking at the impact of social media in Indonesia with two fantastic guests, Dinar Karamani. Dina is with us at Stony Brook University as a visiting community solutions fellow with the Marie Colvin Centre. And we've had a wonderful fall, but sadly she's going to be going back to her home in Bandung, Indonesia soon, where she works as a communications lecturer at ours in Bandung. And we're also very privileged to have Abie Besman with us. Dr. Besman is a visiting Fulbright scholar at Texas Tech University. And so he's joining us from Texas, but he's also from Bandung, where he's a journalism lecturer at UNPAD. So welcome to you both. And what I'd like to start with, Dinar, I'd love to ask you first. Tell us about Indonesia. It's a huge, very populous country, but tell us more about the background to why social media is so prevalent there.
All right. Thank you so much, Sarah. Good morning, everyone. Before we get started, I'd like to extend my warmest welcome because, like our colleague and family in Indonesia is probably now watching us.
Wow.
So, sampurasun everyone from Indonesia.
Say it again, Dinar. Sampurasun, say it again.
Sampurasun.
Sampes. Okay.
We have to tell Sarah later about that.
Yeah.
Okay, you're on.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Yeah, as you mentioned that our country, Indonesia, is the big country. We rank as the fourth, if I'm not mistaken, the fourth largest or most populous country in the world after India, China, and the United States of America, and of course, Indonesia. And I believe that, it's a cultural thing, but there's a common saying that family comes first. Maybe that concept reflected how Indonesia or our country is, because it's not a it's not a unique concept in Indonesia, because our country is also ranked as the third fatherless country in the world. And that is the sad fact, because most families in Indonesia are really struggling to meet basic needs and raise children well. However, there's something happened a few months or, within this year. Our leaders, I have to say, our leaders have maintained their political power by leveraging that concept or that sentence, the family comes first concept, which this one has led to nepotism. I don't know if Abby might have add about this later, but recently I might I have to say that our former president lowered the minimum age for the last election. And this is this is the sad fact, and this is happened in our country.
Can I jump in a minute there, Dinar? When you say lowered the age for the election, that means at which candidates can stand for election? Yeah. So now I believe that means so his son was able to run. Is that right? As be able to be vice president?
Yeah.
How old is the son?
So, if I'm not mistaken, he's less than 40,
Yeah.
30
Okay.
something,
Yes.
yeah. And that was really sad, and also it made public angry, and also disappointed at the same time, because maybe if I would for us as a person who coming from the underprivileged family, we should probably work, maybe we might have to work 10 times harder to be a vice president, or simply to be just recognized. This is really sad for us. So, and also it didn't stop there. Our last former president, he even attempted to lower the requirements for the regional governor elections.
And why was that?
So I mean, like, it was really, like disappointing because he he was trying to allow his youngest son to run as a candidate, and also,
So can I just be clear then? He wanted his older son to be vice president.
yep,
And I believe he is now the vice president,
he is now.
and his younger son to be the regional governor.
Yeah.
So, Abie, can you step in here and tell us, does that mean then that really in Indonesia now it's everything is, family comes first at the very top there. Everything is, are people questioning democratic elections?
Oh yeah, thank you, Sarah. By the way, yes, I'm saying hello to my colleagues also in Indonesia. This is fun. Yeah, I can talk Indonesian and I can meet Dinar. I can meet you here. So this is a good experience for me and then for us too. But if you wanna ask about what happened in Indonesia, by family comforts, then the culture, I think it's, what could say that is in today's political landscape. What happened with Gibran, the vice president name, is how the virality isn't just an accidental phenomenon. It's a deliberate strategy. I can say that. Yeah, because the politicians and their teams actively seek to maybe seize the platform, leveraging the dynamics of social media to control narrative, influence public opinion, and shape the political agenda. So this is what happened in the last 10 years. This approach relies heavily on buzzers, influencers, and paid amplification to maybe manufacture virality. So Dinar, you did a great job to describe that what happened in Indonesia is how virality is part of the problem, but also maybe in our discussion is part also of the solution.
I see. So social media has really helped to influence the whole system of politics, but also the reaction to what's going on. Is this where no viral, no justice, that hashtag comes in? So tell us more, Abie, about how that hashtag has become used as a protest, as a way of uniting a protest movement.
Like I said before, that the rise of social media has maybe fundamentally reshaped the dynamics of communication and influence in Indonesia, transforming it into a society where viral content wields immense power. Sarah, with over 200 million internet users and active social media penetration, correct me if I'm wrong, exceeding 60%, I think. Wow, that's enormous number. So,
over 200 million internet users and social media users?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
So Indonesia has become one of the most connected nations in the world. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, basically Twitter, are not just tools for personal expression, but have evolved into, I can say that, critical arenas for public discourse, political mobilization, and cultural phenomena. So one of the cultural phenomena is like we're talking about now, no viral, no justice, right? Now, in this environment, viral content, anything that spreads rapidly through shares, likes, or reposts, has become a cornerstone of influence. The ability to create or leverage viral moments has been instrumental in shaping public opinion, promoting brands, political brands too, and even winning election. Basically the same with Trump, right?
I was going to say, we're no stranger to the use of social media. We still obviously, watch TV, but social media is really assuming dominance here. Would you say that the sort of mass penetration of Indonesian society is even greater with social media than it is in the US?
I don't have data for comparing it, but in Indonesia it's enormous because Dinar said that Joko Widodo, our former president from 2014, he did that maybe control the narrative politician. His strategy is strategically use social media platforms to amplify his message by bypassing traditional media gatekeepers. I came from traditional media gatekeepers.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm from TV, but yeah, the social media things is allows them to frame issues on their terms and dominate the conversation, and then it's just fun because yeah, I can see that but people tends to maybe decreasing their trust to social to conventional media, but they tends to rely on social media. But back then, in the last 3 years, maybe yeah, there's maybe unrest or distrust to the politician, how they act, how they show their image in the social media. Now they're back to the conventional media again.
Mm-hmm. So and Didi, is social media a way of uniting what is Indonesia? And Indonesia is made up of lots of islands, isn't it? It's a big archipelago. Tell us more about that function of social media within Indonesia, which has a population of what, over 350 million? Is that right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I'd love to, like, share more about Indonesian demography. Like, I don't know if you ever heard about this number, but like our country has like 128% users of mobile users. So it means like one person could probably have more than one mobile device. And it's really
so
big.
yeah, you've got over 100% mobile use, is what you're saying. Yeah, that seems like an odd statistic, but that means that, yeah, everybody has several. Lots of people have several devices, and
yeah, that's right. And also, like, we have a really large nation, but like across around like 17 islands in Indonesia, we also like speak different languages, which like if you come visit our like our islands, you should like speak differently to each provinces, but we have our own national language. But what I'm trying to say is that it's really easy for you to become a viral, and it's really easy for like people to make social media as a tool for transforming like the democracy or justice.
so actually, as an example, I must say we were all awed by the fact that Dinar posted was it on Instagram, an interview with one of our members of faculty, attempting to some Indonesian words. And how many thousands of views did it have, Dinar?
If I'm not mistaken, like it hit like 16,000 views on Instagram.
60,000.
The one that they record in New York, right? In the city.
Yeah.
The influencer.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one is, like I was I mean, like I interviewed one of the professor in Stony Brook University to pronounce some district in Indonesia, specifically on Rancaikek district.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you probably like watched that. But
Anyway, so we're all very jealous of Dinar's 60,000 views.
Yeah, but it reached so
Very
many
impressed.
views.
Yeah, but it does show just how viral things do go. Now, you spoke about how the powers that be politically, particularly the president, can use social media to leverage his position, install his son as vice president. But also, it's a tool of resistance as well. But it's not just political. It's not just in politics where you need to be on social media going viral in that way. Is it, if you want? I mean, it's been used to reopen murder cases and all sorts of things, hasn't it? Tell us more about that. Dino, do you want to say more? Abie, go ahead, Abie. Go ahead.
We can say it in the communication theory. There is media reality construction, right, by Sacco, Vincent Sacco, yes, that the media plays a significant role in shaping social reality. So basically, in viral legal cases or something, that media serves as primary intermediary between the public and the legal system. So through processes of gathering, sorting, and contextualizing information, the media the social media creates the dominant narrative that often form the basis of public perception about a case. So yeah, I can tell you that many cases that built by the same uh, track. Like maybe I can maybe wait a minute. Or do you write it? Okay, like kasus like Mario Dandi's case, and then Ferdi Sambo case, Jessica Wongso case back then, and then there's many of bullying case in Indonesia that when it's not viral, there is no justice for that kind of case. So virality is part of, I can say that, Panacea. Panacea is Greek goddess for maybe medicine for everything.
Yes.
That's Panacea, yeah. So basically, yeah, I can see that the virality is one of the panacea. But
Yeah.
is it right to depend on virality?
Yeah. So
Because
if you're not online, you're not gonna
No.
just be talking
exposure,
about
yes,
Yeah.
basically.
yeah,
And
It's yeah.
go ahead,
Yeah,
Dinar.
I mean, like, if I can add more, like one of the example of the latest case, and I know like Abby probably like knew this case as well about Fina.
yeah. Vina
Uh-huh.
Garut,
Tell
Yeah,
us
Fina
more.
Garut.
yeah.
So oh no, it's from Cirebon. Fina from
Oh
Cirebon.
yeah, yeah, Vina. Yeah, the one with the movie, right? The one with the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So this is really heartbreaking, Sarah. It's a really heartbreaking story. So Fina is a girl who was like raped and also killed by her friends, I believe. And this like happened already like a few years ago. And it seems like maybe the public and also like people had already like forgotten about this case, but like lately in 2023, like a
yeah. 23, yeah.
production
Last year.
company, yeah, so there's a production company. They like released a movie and about the case, and it went viral on Instagram and also TikTok. So it's like bringing attention back about what really happened in, like on that case. And even like the police and also like the authority, they hadn't like be able to find a person responsible for that case. But like it turns out the suspect is actually, like it's still suspect. The suspect is actually son of a mayor of a, like one of the city in our country. So like the public, like it was like really chaotic. So the police like try to like identify a suspect. However, like a few days later or a few weeks later, they admitted that it was a case of wrongful arrest. So it means like like it raises a question from public, like how could justice being handled in our country.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
if I, that's a very, very interesting. And actually, cases here in the US have also gone viral. One of the biggest themes to start off a huge interest in podcasting was a re-examination of a cold case in America. It was a series called Serial about a murder case. But in some ways, I think those storytelling narratives are very interesting. But it can be a substitute for action in some ways. I mean, things go viral. Everybody gets very excited or angry and motivated to do something, and then they don't do anything. They move on to the next
yeah.
hashtag. Is that it? I mean, that's the risk, isn't it, where everything is so dependent on social media. Abie, what do you think?
Yeah, but I think that there is a spark, the initial trigger on that, Sarah, that content becomes viral when it's capture intermediate tension, right? So this can occur due to its emotional appeal, shock value. Fina's
Yeah.
case has that, humor even or relevance to the current event. So the hook must resonate strongly with viewers or with readers within moments of exposure. So yeah, the first one is there's spark, and then the second one is there is amplification. There is in a medium with the social media, uh, conventional media like TV, radio, or newspaper cannot do that because there's network effect on the amplification of this kind of viral case. So once initial interest is generated, so the content spreads exponentially through social media sharing, and even there is also influencer, or we can depend on the algorithms that prioritize engagement. So yeah, this makes emotional engagement and then the drive to share, and then yeah, we can see that it's positively has positive effect on the how the people engagement on the some cases. That's the positive way, but there is another way that's so negative. So there is also many cases that not maybe doesn't have a chance for viral, so it's
Yes.
gone.
They're forgotten. I agree. I mean, to mount a defense for the traditional media that Abie and I come from, very often it's the traditional media that breaks these stories, isn't it? But it's by acting with ever diminishing resources, because they're no longer people don't need to go out and buy them necessarily to consume the news, but they do the heavy lifting, the investigations, etc., and then they get picked up and go viral. There was a case in Britain. I'm from Britain, although I live and work in America, and newspapers had long investigated this terrible scandal involving post office workers who had allegedly committed fraud, but in fact the computers they were working from had errors. So people were being prosecuted and thrown in jail who were just pillars of their local community, serving honestly in a post office. Anyway, newspapers were drawing attention to this, publishing the scandal. Nobody really cared, to be honest. I mean, a few people did, or in the area, or if you knew Mrs. So-and-so who'd been wrongfully charged. Anyway, then a TV program was made about that. And the TV obviously still has enormous penetration in people's heads. But beyond that, it became a viral phenomenon. And finally, something is being done about these poor postmasters and their wrongful convictions. Some of people actually died not knowing that they were, not guilty. But it took almost all these layers to go viral. Sometimes social media can go so fast it can bypass those layers. But who's going to do the big digging and research? It's not the influencers, right?
Yes.
So as a journalist, Abie, does that bother you, or are you glad still to see a role for traditional media in this?
Yeah, there is maybe there is two sides of a knife, right? For this kind of
Yes, it is a knife. That's a good expression. Yes.
yes, in Indonesia in Indonesia there's the two sides of a knife. That one is sharp on it, and then one that not sharp. But there's this maybe if you said about virality acts as both, I can say that virality is act as both a symptom and a response to institutional inefficiency. Yeah,
Yes.
I can say that.
That's good.
Yeah. So institutions that fail to act decisively or transparently eroding public trust. So this is why public tends to share it to social media. Yeah, you can say social media power, Dinar, right? Yeah. So social media becomes a surrogate justice. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's good. Surrogate justice. Yeah, mechanism filling the void left by inadequate system. So yeah, this phenomenon creates a duality between social justice, often drives by public opinion on social media, and legal justice, the one that based on evidence and due process. This imbalance can lead to potential legal deviations, where viral cases are prioritized, priority, while non-viral cases are overlooked. So yeah, this gonna be a problem.
Dina, how big a problem is misinformation as well on social media?
Yeah. So misinformation and also disinformation is become a huge, like a huge case or a huge problem in Indonesia, because
In every place.
Yes. So
Yeah, this it's also like related to the fact that our nation or our country like recognizes around like six religions, and we are like the most populous Muslim country in the world after Pakistan. So it made our people easily react on something that related to, like religion
yeah,
issue. So and also like if you notice, I mean like Abi probably like noticed this thing that our religion leader, which is good, like they've got so many large following on their social handles, you
mhm,
know, and but they don't really share the things about religion value itself, but they also, like share another thing about political interests from like a certain party. So it's kind of
really,
tricky.
religious groups are sharing stuff about politics rather than about
Yeah,
godliness.
Sarah,
Yeah.
can you
And
believe it that last
mhm.
month in our one of the campaign, one of
Mhm.
the our politician saying this like, if you choose me, if you vote for me, you can go to heaven.
Oh,
Yeah,
easy.
It's really sad. It's
wow.
really
You know, yeah.
Oh
That's
gosh, if
true.
it's that easy, count me in.
She's got the key to heaven.
I
yeah.
see. So the politicians also abuse that trust in religion. I mean, there are in America too. There are, religion and politics can go
Mhm.
very much
Mhm.
hand in hand.
Mhm.
But actually, particularly within the charismatic evangelical movement, which has um, gone very much for Donald Trump in the most recent election. But
Mhm.
but I don't think any politician has quite said vote for me and you'll go to heaven. Not yet.
It's really obvious in our country, and this is like really unfortunate fact that we have that kind of religion leaders, like to mix up everything between religion and also political issue, which is, I mean, like it's not fair for us as a maybe like early voters. We can like probably like for example, like so many religious group in our country tend to rely on what their leaders say. I mean, like I believe in religion, I'm Muslim myself, but like it's really hard for people to divide it, which one is the political
Mm.
interest and which one is the, like the religion values that we have to do in our daily
Yes.
lives.
Yes. It's very difficult, even in America with its constitution, sometimes to keep religion and politics
Mm-hmm.
totally in separate lanes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can add some more cases like this, like why the society or the public have a distrust on the system. So I want to ask something. What if we were persuaded to vote for a candidate, maybe because of their close connection to the president? Yeah,
Yeah.
that happened in Indonesia because there's one of the I can show you the poster, but yeah, he literally said that I can contact the president now, so
No, well, just speed dial.
yeah,
Yeah.
you should vote for me because I have connection. So this kind of act or this kind of way of way of thinking has
Mm-hmm.
disrupted our democracy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's even not it's not necessarily a sort of financial corruption in that, but it's a sort of
Yes,
corruption of
mentally corruption too. Yes,
influence and yeah.
and that's dangerous because yeah, the essential of democracy is how we think and how we act, right?
Yeah.
And how we trust. So
Mm-hmm.
so, so it's different because in Indonesia, straight to the trust.
Mm-hmm.
Why and that's the reason why the politicians say that you trust me and then you go to heaven. That's
Mhm.
it. We're all lost of logic there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one of the negative sides of
Yeah.
virality.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. So actually, just to do a sort of hard shift of gear, though, I mean, when you talk about the negative side effects, there are so many unexpected side effects of
Yeah,
virality, aren't there? And Dina, you were telling me about this extraordinary village, a
Mm-hmm.
TikTok
Mm-hmm.
village. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
tell our listeners what this means. What's
Yeah,
going
yeah. All right, this is really interesting actually when we speaking or discussing about, like social media phenomenon in Indonesia. Because, like our people, based on, like data, we are really, I mean, like we really enjoy spending free time on social media. For example, like you name it, TikTok or like Instagram. And like we often end up like watching all kinds of this social media phenomena. So a few years ago, there's a trend like, like a rise where people could make money from viewers, or we call them like as spenders while going live. So for example, Sarah, you can
Did you
like
call viewers spenders, you said, or?
spenders, yeah,
Oh, okay,
spenders. Because
okay.
you can like spend a lot of stickers that it could be like converted to cash.
I
So
see.
it's real, yeah. So for example, like a few years ago, there was an elderly woman like bathing in mud, mandi lumpur, Kang Abi, which it also like gained a huge amount of views. And recently, I don't know if you could like believe it or not, but there's a village called TikTok village in Sukabumi, West Java. It's part, I mean, like it's pretty near to our, like to our town from Bandung. So there, I mean, like there people just like dance and live, and there were like hoping viewers like will send money through stickers that I've already like mentioned about. And it's really creative. I could like probably say that
Yeah.
it's really creative.
Very engaging, I imagine. I could see
Yeah,
myself watching that for hours.
I know.
You
And
watching it for hours? Wow.
But, just what like you'd be so amazed by seeing all these villages making money
yeah,
from dancing. Yeah.
yeah, what I mean is like it's really creative because they choose to save their energy by choosing to dance instead of like going to rice field or to the farm to working and everything. So
What's
yeah,
happening to the rice farms and the while they're dancing?
I mean, like our people tend to, like go to farm in order to, like earn money. But I mean, like they dress as they're going to farm, and they just like doing this dance live TikTok, and they're on like, I don't know, maybe 10 millions of rupiahs a day.
And
So
that's a lot more presumably than you can make from
yeah.
farming, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like it's even like higher of the average income in Indonesia.
Wow.
I was about to do that.
Seriously?
No, I'm kidding.
But,
No, because like it's really easy to get viral in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so increasingly that's the most desirable career choice then, is it?
Yeah. If
So,
you're asking the younger generations like what do you want to be like in the future, they probably answer by I want to be a content creator or YouTuber or TikTokers because it got a lot of money.
So Abie,
even my own student, Sarah,
Uh-huh.
in journalism, yeah.
yeah.
I think we can count in it less than maybe and a half who wants to be a conventional journalist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All of them, many of them, just want to be a social, like influencer or
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
a content creator or something. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think we this is a new word for us. This is
Mm-hmm.
a new way of journalism. I can say
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah. Is it journalism though, Abie?
Mm-hmm.
Is it journalism? I mean, it is if you're investigating something or you're holding the president to account or you're
Yeah, it's
you're
not classic journalism, yes, but
okay. So
it is
what's the difference?
journalism.
So
But
explain to us why. I mean, I'm fascinated. I'm not disagreeing with you. The journalism can't all be
yeah,
as it was in the past.
in the classic journalism, in conventional journalism, basically the gatekeeper is
Yeah,
us journalists, right?
yes,
But
that's
in a modern journalism, the gatekeeping is you, the
right.
one that see the content, right? So basically, yeah, the control or the sanity is based on our head, not
Yes.
their head. So
So, and now that you've been at Texas Tech, you're a Fulbright scholar visiting here in the US. what difference do you see? Because we also have young people who really want to be content creators and influencers. And how, what's the difference between the US and Indonesia on this? Or are we all, is it one big global social media conglomerate emerging here?
I can do more deep research, but from my opinion now, that's one of my make it worse in Indonesia is the lack of structural solutions for poverty. So yeah, the popularity of social media is a pathway out of poverty. Basically in Sukabumi, joget setboard. I don't know. The name is just setboard, yes. Yeah. So instead of addressing root causes such as lack of education, limited job opportunities, or infrastructure, communities are turning to self-initiated solution via digital platforms. So it's a huge difference between maybe what happened in Indonesia and maybe, I don't know, in Texas. Maybe you can invite me to New York, then I can see more broader picture.
What do you think, Dinar?
Yeah. I mean, like, I could like I can like probably say that inflation, like what Abby mentioned earlier, that inflation is like hitting us really hard. But like people are increasingly seeing social media as a tool, not for being like being heard or being seen anymore, but the tool to like making money from it, because like it's really hard to earn money in Indonesia and to get a proper job and to get a proper like salary in our country. So I mean, like that's why maybe a lot of people almost like like tempted to do something, like for like I could say this kind of like a foolish like a this is like unpleasant act for you to dance live and to show your like people, a whole village, what are you doing like in front of the TikTok live and everything. But yeah, the reality like hitting us hard, really hard.
Yes. And I mean, I do worry about a world in which people aren't creating things, they're just creating images for consumption. We can't all live off the TikTok village dancers. We still have to grow food, eat, etc. But on the other hand, it does seem like in a country like Indonesia, social media is now everything. It's how to make money. It's how to have political power. It's how to reject political power or expose injustice. I mean, is it such a is it now the absolute dominant force?
Yeah, I can say it like this, Sarah, that maybe this is majority, I think. Yeah, there is a problem behind every viral content. The basic problem is how the functional, the dysfunctional of the elements that should be a pathway for that kind of issue. So yeah, I think this is a missed opportunity to empower communities.
Yes.
Every viral content is a missed opportunity to empower communities. So yeah, the government
Kind of
silence.
community, isn't it? It's a viral community that comes and goes.
Yeah, the government silence or lack of strategic communications around this issue reveals a missed opportunity to empower local communities. Like framing economic empowerment narrative, engaging in public discourse, participating actively in discussion about phenomena. This is the miscommunication between how it should be done and what happened. So yeah, the social media is a path of what is it? Freedom to saying anything without the system.
Yes. Well, but the positive side, that give us the positive side. Now we're going to be wrapping up soon. So tell us what's the positive side of how social media works in Indonesia.
Yeah, maybe I'll go with that question. So actually this is social media used in Indonesia like has two sides of coin, I would say, because like you can also for example, I myself really want to empower my students to create their own like social media platforms, but like the positive ones, you could not only like dance live on TikTok or Instagram. You have to like make a like educative content or the empowering content. And I also like encourage them to produce like informative like social media platform in different niches. So that is probably could be one of the positive side of social media itself. It's also like helped us to earn like money by collaborating with a lot of SMEs in Indonesia, for example in Jawa Barat province, by like making the content in order to like to make a personal branding,
Mhm.
something like that. So yeah, it's also promising to youngsters if
And
they can like probably make a good social media platform.
and Abby, a final word from you on that.
Yeah, the intersection of virality, communication, and justice reveals both opportunities and challenges in the digital age. That while virality can amplify marginalized voice and hold institution accountable, it also risks that due process and perpetuating systematic inequities. So justice must not depend on justice and what do you call government act must not depend on case popularity, but on the integrity itself. So yeah, that's our challenge there.
Okay, so justice can't rely on a hashtag, but
Yeah,
a hashtag no viral, no justice can help.
yeah, obviously.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Abie Besman from Fulbright Scholar at Texas Tech, and also a journalism lecturer at Unpad in Bandung, Indonesia. And thank you, Dinar, Di Karamani, for joining us. And we'll be sad to lose you from the Marie Colvin Center soon. You've been a great asset here.
Where's going home,
Thank
Dinar?
you
Uh,
so
so I think in December you
Yeah.
head back
yeah.
to Bandung and to your university there, which is
Mhm.
ours. So
Yeah,
thank you for joining us. That was a very interesting discussion.
thank you so much. It's
Thank you
been
so
All
a
much.
right.
pleasure to talking to you. Thank you.
Nice talking to you, Dinar.
Bye bye.
Thank you,
Bye bye
Avi.
all.